All right, we're live now.
I was just clapping.
Yeah, you were. Oh,
Man, so many people don't know what they missed before we go live. That's just we're gonna have to get the Patreon going, man. With just what happens before they go live? Can't show it on YouTube.
yeah.
The conversations, man.
All right. Well, whew, okay. I sorry, I gotta get the mindset now. Q done looked up some stuff. I mean,
Hey, that got sent to me by the algorithm. All right. I ain't look up. I'm up here just like,
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure you looked that up. That was on your mind, and you just was like, I'm gonna look to see if this.
I was looking up the manual you suggested to me. And then YouTube said, you think that man was good? Check out this.
Mm-hmm. All right. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with. And Bloodaxe is out adulting, so we don't have him today.
Yeah, was this like week 4 of Move?
Oh, man.
Man. I tell you, something good about me being like, man, I can just pack up a car and move like it ain't nothing. It's a good thing about not owning a lot.
So let's see. What we're going to talk about today? Well, I guess we'll talk about the thing that we've been playing part of the weekend, and you having hearing trouble there, man? You getting
old? Started ringing, yeah.
Yeah, that's that old age for you.
All
right. Let's talk about Diablo.
Diablo 4.
And what is everybody bitching about on the internet but the Necromancer debuff? Whoa. Necro nerf has been top of the
subreddit
for Diablo 4, and all the Necro files have been complaining about the nerfs.
Give them a full rundown. There was another beta weekend.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, this weekend that this is being filmed on. Actually, right now the beta is still going on. They had the new beta for Diablo 4 with a bunch of nerfs and some buffs on some different characters. One of the big nerfs was the nerf towards the Necromancer's
minions.
Corpse Explosion and the Necromancer's minions lifespan, basically stopping them from being able to basically absorb so much damage.
Any is the word you want to use. Any.
I can't say any. It still absorbs damage. It just
absorbs it all right, like a sponge.
Yeah, it just doesn't have a lot of health there. Now, I will say, I've watched several videos playing the Necromancer. Q here has played the Necromancer. I'm not the big Necromancer guy. I think most of the people complaining are a bunch of whiny bitches, but I jest. There are some definite concerns when it comes to the minions' lifespans. I don't think they're quite as bad as a lot of the outcry, but so many people have cried about it, they actually already put in a hot fix for it, in which Q says he'll try after the show. So
yeah, unfortunately, they did it last night or today, and I haven't tried it because I spent so many hours trying to get past a certain boss battle that I just got sick and tired because my minions, I was alone. Never felt so lonely as a Necromancer, man. I mean, yeah, it's lonely out there. But, so after beating my head against the wall, I played some Gears. But I'll swing back around. I was hoping we get some folks in chat. My boy Flynn does Necro, so hopefully we'll see him, and maybe he can pop in and tell me, if he got to play it post-change. My thing is this. I will admit, though, even though he's teasing me, I will admit that the original Necro was freaking OP. And this is coming from a Necro fanboy. But, I mean, I was blazing the game with blue equipment. And I literally, the first thing, he can give me props on that. First thing I did when I talked to him, I said, dude, I think this is not supposed to be this easy. I did say that to you. I said, this is really easy. But this time around, it went from easy to like, I can't beat, what is it, Venetia or whatever. I can't beat, like, one of the boss fights. I can't. Like, I tried it repeatedly. But my problem is that I don't have any luck. I have no legendaries. Oh, Flynn is here. You know, but I couldn't even get through the whole chapter. Like, I couldn't defeat the first chapter with the minions' current build because I run a minion build, so.
Oh. You know what? The game's no longer available. It ended at 12 today, so you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to play that hot fix.
That's all right. I'll go back to playing Gears. Well, that's a problem then, because that means that they didn't get a lot of test run on the hot fix, did they?
That is true.
That's kind of dumb, but all right.
But yeah, see, it is. Game is no longer available.
Flynn describes it as glass cannon without a cannon. He said he didn't go with Necro this time, but. You wouldn't have enjoyed it, dude. It was very impactful. Despite him teasing me, the majority opinion is that it was a bit excessive.
I will say the game felt generally a little harder, which to me is a good thing because the hard difficulty, which the only difficulty I played, was easy last time. So to have gotten to have felt a little more, I don't know. I mean, just a little more difficult and a little higher challenge by starting on that second difficult level. I think that is a good move. You know, a lot of people are complaining about that. Oh, the game was tough. It's hard, you know, and they're playing on the second difficulty. Well, if you're playing on the second difficulty, lower the difficulty if you find it too challenging, you know. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't, but...
I mean, that's my thing, too, because despite the way he teases me, like, I actually like hard games. I mean, I'm a Dark Souls player. Yeah. I'm an Elden Ring player. I'm looking for the Armored Core because they ain't fooling me. The crap's going to be hard. You know, I know who made the game. It's going to be hard. You know, I kept playing Wild Hearts when it got hard when someone else decided to bow out. See, there's my revenge there now. But, like, I like difficulty, but I like to also be able to play the way I want to play with that difficulty. I just want my minions to be fixed, what they said they're doing, so I can run a minion build. This is what I enjoy doing. Well, but I don't think the Necromancer needs to do more damage. I think he's fine on damage.
Well, Flynn says he played the Rogue and it got tough, and he also played on Veteran. I played my Wizard, and it did get tough, and I played on Veteran. You did the Necromancer. It got tough. You played on Veteran. So I think that's a good sign. Now, in notorious Diablo fashion, I'm sure they will make it easier. Because if you've ever played a Diablo game, Diablo 2, 3, and now 4, but 2 and 3 both started off a lot harder. Now, 2 did not bend the knee quite as much on the difficulty level, which is why a lot of people consider 2, a lot of the hardcore Diablo fans consider 2 still one of the best. Diablo 3 bent the knee quite often. Every time there was a new difficulty level, people would bitch about it being too hard, even though it was the highest difficulty level at that time. Then they'd lower the difficulty, then people would bitch about it being too easy, and then they'd come out with new difficulty levels, and that's how Diablo rolls. So
Diablo 3 was easy by the time I played it. It was very easy. I don't ever remember running into
But you came back. You came into Diablo 3 at the end of its lifespan. Mm-hmm. I mean, like in the last 6 months. So,
and I'd always heard Diablo was hard. And like I said, I'm not unlike other people. I am not cascading for Necromancer needs buff. I'm just saying skeletons need to live longer. That's all I want. And I said that repeatedly, that all I want is a longer lifespan for them.
I will say that it's been the amusing thing for a lot of the newer people in the Diablo scene for me, because they're watching these forums and they're watching this and they're like, so many people are complaining, and I was like, yay, Diablo! That's how it rolls, man.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a Diablo veteran.
I mean, Diablo has probably one of the most complaining group of fans.
Ouch.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. I mean,
it ain't out for me. I'm not a Diablo fan. I'm playing because you asked me to.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you get complaints on both sides. Is why you get people who think that they should be able to do everything, no matter what the difficulty is. If it's too hard for them, it's too hard, regardless of their skill level.
You mean the Cuphead reviewers? Yeah,
yes.
those guys.
And then you have the people who are the elitists who are like, hey,
get good.
There's too many people at this level. I can't stand out.
That's the get good.
That's
the Dark Souls get good.
I want it to be harder. And so Blizzard, because it is a service game, a live service game, it's always you're trying to keep those players, so you constantly are bending the knee back and forth. And I think at some point you just go, "This is the difficulty we want." You deal with it. We want this to be really hard. If you can't play at this level, then play at a lower difficulty. But I don't know how Diablo 4 is going to go because they say there is going to be a cap on basically
the grind.
So, Diablo 3 finally came up with there was no cap on the grind. It just kept going and going and going.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, to me, that's why you have to do like I did. The reason I enjoyed Diablo 3 so much is I hit my grind cap where I said, this is about as much grinding as I'm willing to do. But you know what? I was satisfied. I got up into like the 70 or 80s. I was up there at a pretty decent level. I enjoyed myself. Yeah. You don't always have to 100% a game either. And that's my thing. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with Diablo. I think it's a good game. If they can fix the one thing I'm hoping for, I'll enjoy it more. Otherwise, I might have to play a wizard. I know that sounds crazy, but, if I'm going to be casting spells, I might as well be a wizard. I mean, why be a necromancer?
Yeah. I will say, I put 3 points in the glass cannon. I'm that guy,
Oh, yeah, I'm a huge glass cannon guy. So, like I said, if wizard's a better glass cannon, if I'm not going to be able to do minions...
Sorcerers have an ability. It's a 3-point ability called glass cannon.
Ooh, it sounds good.
You do, I think the first level is like 6% more damage, but you take 3% more damage. And it goes up to, I think 18% more damage, but you take like 9% more damage, something like that.
Dude, I did that in Wild Hearts. I have that desperation ability. I was up to 70%. I did 70% more damage and had 70%
and I'll
less
be honest,
defense.
That's you're doing twice as much more damage as you're taking more damage. Now, I would have done it for an even. I would have done it for a 6%. So
I was just saying, I did in Wild Hearts, you can stack up desperation.
Yeah.
You remember I had that build.
Yeah.
I stacked up to 70%.
I was like, I thought they were being nice by giving me double what they were taking away.
Oh wait, it was they give you double what they're. That is nice.
Yeah, so 18% more damage meant
How can you get it up
meant
to?
You were taking 9%. That was the max.
Oh man, they need to go higher. I'll trade out 50 for 100 any day.
Yeah,
I'll take 50% more damage for 100% more damage any day. Oh man, I love a good glass. Maybe I will play the wizard now. Man, screw y'all. Y'all want to screw my skeletons? Keep your damn skeletons then. I will get them wyvern heads. They look cool. They still work. The little wyvern heads that pop up the ground.
Oh, you talking about the fire Hydra?
Yeah, whatever. They still, how were they? Did you try them out? You played with them?
Yeah, they were good.
Right, maybe I'll have to do wyvern minions, man.
I did a sort of a summon, a more summony version of the wizard for a bit. So I had the swords and the Hydra and stuff like that, which worked interesting. The summons don't do enough to be just your main focus.
But did they die instantly?
Oh no.
Yeah, there you go. Then that already is.
They have a time limit on them.
I'll take that. At this point, I would rather they switch the skeletons to a timed resurrection, but they do not take damage. Because at this point, that'd be the only way they'd get to stick around longer than they are now. Even if it was a 10-second duration, it's better than what I'm getting right now. Just being honest. If you could hit one button, raise 4 skeletons for 10 seconds, I would take that ability. Because at the moment, I'm getting nothing out of it, man. I'm getting nothing. Well, okay. Shouldn't say at the moment. I haven't played it recently. Yesterday, I was getting nothing out of it. But the game is fun.
Today you're getting nothing out of it because it's over.
That's all right. I think that's a bad call, and that means it didn't get play tested that well. I would have wanted to get a full day with that hotfix in case they need to tweak it, personally, as a tech guy.
Yeah, it was sort of weird because they extended the I was hoping they would extend it because I knew it was supposed to end at 12 specific Standard Time today, but the other two, they extended them till Monday. And I was like, oh, come on. They're just going to extend this one till Monday as well. But apparently they didn't. So,
yeah. So, I mean, they got very little data on that hotfix.
Yeah. Flynn in the chat room says some builds are better than others. I had a Shadow and Poison Rogue, then changed to Cold Damage Rogue. I need to freeze enemies to create distance.
Freezing works really well.
That's Diablo. Same thing with the Wizard. I think the main build this season was still a electric build, but it was a fire electric build, I think. I doubt it would work long term, being that most likely you're going to stack a specific element in game. But yeah. Honestly, it seems like the nerf on the lightning build didn't really hurt that much on the Wizard. I mean, it just made it not OP. So they probably hit about right on that one.
Good to know one of them got right.
But I don't know. I didn't play the Necromancer. I want to say the Necromancer players are just a little whiny, but we'll see. We'll see.
You can't really say that, though, if you haven't played it, can you?
Well, no, I know. That's why I said I can't say it. I said I want to say it. I want to say it mostly just because you're a Necro player. But
I mean, I might be a Wizard player, buddy, because at this moment, from what I saw one video played post-fix. Mm-hmm. Didn't really like they got it where it needed to be.
Yeah.
I may make a Wizard and wait until they hot fix it again. Because according to what you tell me and what I saw now, and man, I got to give mad credit to Xeno. I thought he was joking. He said they're going to put the fix out fast. But even I didn't think they'd put it out like almost same day.
I didn't think they were going to put it out that fast.
Like, that was good. So here's my prediction. I believe that when the game comes out, if they don't do another beta, within 48 hours, they'll do another one for the skeleton. Because I don't think it was enough. Yeah. I will say, from what I saw, now I can only go on a video. I watched a guy. He was in the overworld. He fought the big sword guy that we see before. He still lost 50% of his skeletons really fast.
I think that's fine. Quit being a bitch. All right, let's move on to some more Diablo. Instead of, I mean, we're kicking a dead horse at this point.
I'm a necromancer. I kick dead horses. My head don't. No. I'm a necromancer. My dead horses kick.
So also this week we had a little more info on the Battle Pass. Ah, man, this still hurts me. Like, I'm not a fan of these micro and implementing this stuff, and it's supposedly only cosmetic, but that's a slippery slope.
We're both so suspicious of the Battle Pass. We have sat here looking at it, trying to figure out what's the trick. We haven't found it yet, but I still believe that there is a little pay to win on this, but I can't prove it.
The biggest concern has been these ashes. Basically, these ashes that you can get through the tree. Now, you don't have to be a Battle Pass premium user to get them, but when you get them could vary depending on that. And what these are used for is to either bump your XP, bump your gold, or bump your odals, which is obols, which is what you can buy gear with.
Which apparently, according to him, you can get legendaries from. Again, my luck's so bad, I bought 3 items and get spit. I got blues. I didn't even get rare.
My strategy when I was playing the beta to get legendaries was to save up my odals until I hit level 20, and then I spent them all to get items from this shop. Now, I ended up with about each time I spent about 300 and something odals, I'd get a legendary or 2. So I would just spam one item over and over. And it's the same thing I used to do with the blood shards in Diablo 3 when you want to get something. Oh, well, I'm looking for, the set legs. So I just buy a bunch of legs.
If that didn't work, then you go transmog. I'm trying to get the legs.
Then you go and transmog, turn the rares into legendary to hope to get the set. But anyway, same thing here with the odals that you can apparently get buffed with these ashes.
Well, let's explain how it works. So if you get to buy the season pass, these levels blow it up again. These 20 levels here, you get all of those automatic. Well, let me rephrase that. You don't have to. You start at level 20. Now, you still have to meet the character level to
level
get to
10
unlocks.
and level 20.
But as far as leveling up your season pass, you're already there. You're already at 20. How that's going to affect the competitive element? Because apparently he is telling me the game's competitive. I know there's some kind of leaderboards, but I never cared about it.
There's a ladder. There's a season ladder. Now, I think the first season starts in July. The way this works is basically a person who reaches the highest in some kind of challenge. In Diablo 3, this was, your rifts that constantly went up in level. You would go higher in the ladder. They had the ladder as an overall thing, and then they also have the ladder divided into classes. So if you end up with a class that is OP, you can at least go and say, well, I'm the top of my class. So if the whiners and the necro, do get the necro buffed and they aren't at the top of the ladders, at least everybody can just omit them when they look at the ladder.
I would beat your big ass on camera. Clearly you can see we haven't fought in near enough long enough time. He's getting ballsy over here. He done got real big in his britches.
Oh, so anyway, that's the competitive part to Diablo, or the competitive part I know about.
So it's a scoreboard.
I've never really played competitive.
Yeah, it's a scoreboard. But if there is a scoreboard, the question of will the season pass affect it is a logical question for people. Because people like if our boy Bloodaxe is here, oh man, he was all about getting on leaderboards. He is a big into that, big into that. He still goes back with me on Gears 5 and tries to get back when people have pushed him down. He'll want to jump back up there.
So the concern right now is that the ashes may allow people to get to that top level and start grinding before others that don't have the premium battle pass.
Because they're still trying to level up their season pass to unlock their ashes. Now, Blizzard is claiming that they've got the pacing down to where your season progress will keep up with your level. That's what they're claiming, so it should not be an advantage. But here's the problem with that. Well, then why buy the battle pass, other than for a few cosmetics? If unlocking it and getting the first 20 levels automatically has no effect, then why do it? So I don't believe it, just because that would be a real bad takeaway from the selling point of the battle pass. Because most people ain't going to be worried about the 2 or 3. It's only 3 or 4 cosmetics extra that you don't get.
I think there's cosmetics. I think
6.
I think that goes beyond 20, though. This is the first 20.
Oh, okay, that's the first 20 that you get.
You see the left trigger, right trigger, so you can actually, it's a longer.
Okay. By the way, what is those right there? Are those coins?
I have no idea what that is.
Because if you get coins no one else gets, then that is a competitive edge, isn't it? If that's that's opals or something.
I don't think that's coins. I'm gonna hope that's not coins.
It looks like coins. That don't look like a cosmetic.
It could be a brooch of some kind, like a necklace or a ring.
But that's the other problem is we don't see the whole tree to know if anything in there could be competitive. So it'll be really curious to see if there is an effect. Now, to me, it doesn't matter because I don't even know if I'm going to bother with the season pass at first. I mean, when I first played Diablo 3, I jumped on the season pass. The only reason I was on the season pass is because I started on it. Because by then,
oh, you know what that is? That probably is coin. It's probably platinum. It's the platinum currency to buy additional cosmetics.
Okay, well, there's more cosmetics. Who cares? That's fine.
Because platinum is their shop currency.
Okay,
so it's probably the shop currency.
All right. So I mean, for the competitive community, it's a concern.
Yes.
For me and you, it ain't.
No.
But for the competitive community, it's a concern. I have no desire to be on the top Diablo board.
Yeah. Last thing Diablo news is apparently KFC is gonna.
Well, good for you. You're the chicken lover.
I'm not a KFC fan though, man. I prefer Popeyes.
Popeyes is pretty
sponsor us, Popeyes.
Popeyes dirty rice, man, with that biscuit.
Oh yeah.
Now I want a biscuit. God dang it.
Now I want some Popeyes.
Hey, that's the worst thing about talking about Popeyes biscuit is you immediately want a biscuit. You're just like, Man, yeah.
But anyway, apparently there's going to be 5 in-game assets that you can get from May 29th to July 2nd through KFC. KFC says Reward 1 can be unlocked by scanning the QR code on the back of their sandwich pouch. Rewards 2 through 5 are exclusively available with any sandwich purchase on KFC.com or the KFC app. Rewards will automatically be unlocked with each qualifying purchase and show on the rewards page after the order is complete. So that picture gets me every time.
When they put that heart attack sandwich, the one where it's just bacon like wrapped around 2 pieces of fried chicken, like 2 pieces of fried chicken as the bread
with a comeback sauce,
sauce, cheese, and just filled with bacon. Our friend Jeff tried that and nearly died. Like he almost had an immediate heart attack.
I remember when these things came out, and I had one, and I just.
You're still here?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. No.
I mean, dude, that's a lot of meat. Like
that's what she said.
That's what you said. You tried it. Out of the 2 of us, only you know the taste of all that meat.
Oh.
I'm vegan when it comes to whatever the heck that is. Like, God dang it, can I get some bread at least? Like, and some lettuce?
Well, the whole point of this is not to have the bread. Now, I will say, you have fried chicken, which is covered with breading. So, anyway.
The Brood Witch. Oh, that's a good one. Aqua Teen, Hunger Force, baby. Shout out to Carrie Means, man, wherever you are out there, brother. Captain Frylock.
Oh.
So what else we got in gaming?
Let's see.
Somebody's bullying. Oh, you don't want to segue to that?
I don't know. I didn't really get a good order on these. Sure, we'll segue to that.
Let's talk about bullying in gaming.
All right. So EA says even more FPS studios are facing increased harassment. So anyway, EA has issued a statement following Battlefield harassments towards its many studios that make the multiplayer FPS games, calling players to end the toxicity. This is from PC Games, and they're saying that apparently there's been increased toxicity against developers and the community as a whole due to just toxic people. Now, I say
toxicity.
Yeah. I say, define toxicity for one, but also make better games.
I mean, you're not right. Okay, meet in the middle. But I do get the idea of the devs do not call the shot.
Well, no, you shouldn't. The people that go out there and attack individuals is a bad thing.
Yeah. Attack CEOs. Like, attack the boss.
But I think it's great that people are going out there and saying, your game sort of sucks.
Your game sucks, man. And that's the thing. Like a meeting in the middle needs to happen. One, don't attack individual devs. Mm-hmm. Now, there is a caveat, though. Because look at Saints Row and other stuff where the devs was talking that shit.
Well, yeah.
Now, if you decide to go out there and talk mess,
well, then
you can catch these comments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thank you, Flint. Flint on the chat room says, well, if you make a bad game of one of the most loved IP, you're going to get talked about.
But it can't go overboard.
It can't go overboard.
And that's my thing. Like, but here's the thing. If the devs don't start none, won't be none. Leave them alone if they didn't start it. But going and attacking the company for making a bad game to me is valid. If you screw up a game, Saints Row, I'll never stop talking about Saints Row. And I will say, like, you deserve to get called out on it.
I mean, I agree with this that they said. They said all across our Battlefield studios, we are open to constructive feedback and criticism about our games, but to maintain a healthy and open dialogue with our community, we will protect our team and people from toxicity and harassment.
That's valid.
Yeah, you should not be harassing the team.
Yes,
but talk all the shit you want. Now, they're probably not going to listen to you if you're vulgar in your criticism towards their game. That's just sort of rule number one when trying to
we got to watch out there because all we do is say fuck EA. So we like.
Well, but they don't listen to us anyway.
That's true. I listen to.
Yeah. So point. If you want to be heard and your opinion taken,
Be constructive.
and
We're not.
yeah. Now, I will say, enough people out there say fuck EA. EA might start listening and going, what did we do wrong?
That this
You
has
would
become
hope.
the majority.
Yes.
Like enough FEAs
Yeah.
in the subreddit will eventually make EA go, hey, maybe we should address this.
But if you go out and attack individuals,
F Susie though, that's
Yeah.
not necessary. Like pick one person
yeah,
and go.
then all of a sudden you're not going to be listened to. So.
But if Susie come out there and start talking that, because I'm sorry, that does happen now.
Yeah.
That's a big difference too. Some of y'all little devs like to run your mouth, and then you
Well-
want to block and block comments when you catch it back.
Yeah, now that is a valid point. I have seen. I mean, and this is something we've talked about before because we never saw this in companies before, where employees would go out
Attack the customer
and
base.
attack a customer base, and we have seen that more often too. So it does go both ways. I mean, back when I was originally in business, and hell, the company I work for now, if I was to go out and say something like, I don't even mention where I work or anything about my company on this show, on my Facebook, on Twitter, any of that, because for one, there's a lot of NDAs involved. For two, that's something a lot of companies will fire you for. It's amazing that the game industry and the movie industry have allowed their employees to talk the way they do about the companies about the IPs of the companies they work for and the fan base.
I remember back when saying, well, then don't buy our product was the fastest way to get fired possible. Discouraging people from buying your company's product used to be zero tolerance.
I've
termination.
taken for certain companies I've worked for, I've taken my bumps, man. Oh, well, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, I'm sorry, you feel that way, hopefully. And you might not mean it because the person's being a total douche and not reasonable. But you took the bumps as an employee and you just sort of went on with your day.
Hey, I've worked for terrible companies where I almost wanted to be like, you really shouldn't be buying. You'd be thinking like, you really don't want this product.
So, I mean,
but you don't say it.
The mentality has changed inside a lot of these corporations. And I think that's because of the way everybody's afraid to fire somebody. Everybody's afraid of a lawsuit, afraid of this, afraid of that. And sometimes you just got to put your foot down internally and externally. If fans say, screw you, your game sucks, you might got to say, well, I hate you feel that way. Let's see how the rest of the world feels. And if the rest of the world feels that way, maybe we do need to improve our game, But just take the bump and move on.
And that's the current scenario because also here's the thing. EA's talking all that good stuff. We're going to take appropriate actions to uphold. What actions? What actions? What you going to do? I mean, I'm sorry, but now I done got a little froggy. I'm like, hey, what you going to do? You need my money. You need my money, man. I'm a customer. I hate to be a jackass, but no, don't get to talking shit now. You better be like, hey, we'd like to ask you. You ask me. No, we're going to take actions. What you going to do, EA? What you going to do? Not make a Battlefield? What you going to do? Oh, are you going to make a sign a be nice thing like Blizzard? Be nice on WoW. What you going to do?
You have to agree to it before you can play the game.
Yeah, you ain't going to do nothing. You ain't do nothing at all. Can't do nothing.
I mean,
but
dude.
ask. And don't get me wrong. I believe people shouldn't be treating boys like that. But see, is this that little line? You know how somebody can set you off with just a little bit? Like, you going to take actions. What you going to do? You ain't going to do nothing.
So
talking that good stuff. Like, what you going to do? Don't throw hands? You ain't Nintendo. Now, Nintendo be trying to do stuff. You ain't going to do nothing. What you gonna do? Like, what you gonna do? You gonna sue somebody like Monster? You use the word M-O in something, we gonna sue you. These companies getting a little up, getting way feeling themselves, man.
But I was talking about companies filling themselves. Let's talk about.
Well, we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna make exclusivity deals.
Let's talk about Sony. So now this is currently a rumor.
Yeah, true. This is rumor. Take it with a grain of salt.
Now Sony. The rumor is Sony has struck exclusivity deals with Konami for Metal Gear Solid 3, Silent Hill, and possibly Castlevania. Now, I don't know why you put possibly in what's something that's already supposedly a rumor, but hey, that's just articles today.
What it means is that even amongst the rumors, that's a rumor.
Yeah, it's a rumor of rumors. Now, here's the thing. We'll probably know at the end of this month because apparently PlayStation Showcase is scheduled for late May. So,
featuring Konami.
Yeah. Featuring announcements from Konami. So we will, and this is probably where the rumors are developing from, is from.
I love that they can block the freaking Microsoft deal by claiming they're trying to get exclusivity while there's continuing. This whole time, they keep making more exclusivity deals. That's why I said the UK is corrupt, and I ain't going to back down on that. Because Sony's over here like, let me get another exclusivity deal. They're trying to be exclusive. Let me get another one. There. Yeah, these guys, like we got the majority of the market and we're running everything, but these guys, let's get that Castlevania. Okay. And they're just sort of looking and going like, UK, how much money, how many hookers did they send to the UK's offices that these suckers are not even trying to hide it? And that's why I told you I don't like their legal system. Because they're too blatant with the corruption. At least we hide it here. They try to be subtle. They try to cover it up, They're like, hey, well, we didn't do anything. UK, they just look at each other, shaking hands with the Sony president, talking about, we're not doing anything. Got a Sony-branded Ferrari in front of your house. Dang PlayStation buttons on the dang side of the dang Lamborghini. This is bullcrap, man. And it's creating a monopoly. The very monopoly that's supposed to be avoided, Sony is building. They're not hiding, they're building it. And people are just kowtowing and into it. And UK's not one of their do-boys. So, only person who's going to be able to do anything is probably the US. As usual, we got to be the ones that slap it on the table and go, hey, stop it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens about that. I mean, it's being brought back up. So
they're trying to appeal it, but we know how appeals go in the UK.
Okay, yeah.
Call back.
Oh, but yeah. So anyway. If you're looking forward to these games and you don't have a PlayStation, then good luck. We'll see what happens.
Well, the only good news is there hasn't been a good Silent Hill or Castlevania in a while.
Well, and these are remakes, I think, as well. These are all, I know the Silent Hill and the Metal Gear Solid, I believe, are remakes. I think it's the Silent Hill 2 remake and then remasters of Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. It says for Steam and other consoles, so they may be trying to grab these remasters as...
the difference between remake and a remaster. If it's a remaster, I could care less. If they're doing a remake, these are remasters now. There's supposed to be a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, which may be what's the exclusive is a remake, and the Silent Hill 2 remake. They've been doing some pretty good remakes, dude. Those Resident Evil remakes have been pretty dang good.
Yeah,
that could be a little bit annoying because the remakes have been pretty solid. And it'll be a shame to have to miss out. But you know me, I'm stubborn. I'll just miss out.
Like I said, it's all rumors right now. We'll probably know more around the end of this month, though.
I'm pretty sure they're going to come up exclusive. I'm confident at the Sony showcase.
We'll see. Let's see. What else we got? For
the fighting game fans.
We've talked about pretty much all these different character releases on Tekken that they've been doing. They just released Warang, or however they say it.
Yeah, the Blood Talon Hurang is been released. I used to be a huge Hurang player. I didn't really mess around with them in Tekken 7, but I played a lot of them back in Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag.
How do they say
got to get to the part where he says his name.
Yeah, no, I'm trying not to get us copyright banned or anything there.
Good luck with that.
Section 8. New challenger.
Hold on. Pause it for a second.
Yeah,
I don't even think they said it right. I think I was closer. That's like I said. I'm like, okay, hooray. Hoorah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But he putting them feet on him, boy. He's got his gameplay looks good.
It looked good. It looked good.
He's got a special intro with Jin, his rival. Looks awesome. You know, I love that intro. Like, there, right there. Get that. Get the clicking. No, the other way.
There it is.
That is a cool intro, man. That is the new Tekken 8 has several. I wonder if they got one who Leroy might have one with. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Might be. Well, dang it. I would say the other old guy, but unfortunately, Hachi's roasted. Sorry, spoilers. If you haven't beat Tekken 7, Hachi is supposedly dead again. What if my boy Marduk's going to pop up? But my knowledge, well, I don't know. He might also, he could have one with Kazuya. They didn't show an intro for him. Not with any other character. Not that I noticed. So I'm wondering if he's going to have an intro with anybody. But I don't know if he has a rival in the game. Let's see. Keep going. That's, Law? Would it be Law? Is it Jeet Kune Do? Oh, because of Ip Man. It could be Law, because Jeet Kune Do versus, God, my brain. Wing Chun. Jeet Kune Do versus
I mean, he's
Wing
like,
Chun.
show me what you got. But it doesn't go into any kind of animation.
But I could see Jeet Kune Do versus Wing Chun. That actually, and the concept of Bruce Lee and Ip Man could be played on. Sorry, we're fighting game nerds.
Anyway,
but Hurong looks good.
I mean, so far we got a pretty good roster.
For start?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for start. So,
I mean, how many is that? Count it down for us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16's a good start. That's a good starting roster. We've seen them start with only 12. You know, we've even seen a rare few try to start off with 8. But 16 without any DLC needed? Because Tekken is prone to adding a lot more characters. 16 is a good start, and we don't even know if that's all of it. Like, is he the last one? Like, did they say he was the last one, or is he just the latest?
I mean, I think he's just the latest.
They may hit 18 to 20, because it's going to probably be even number. So we may... Yeah, they don't say anything that implies he's the last one. So, wow, this may be a really big starting fighting roster. That'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Zeno will have to see who gets to be the master of kicks. We've had some good Tekken 7 kick fights. Like we've had it go. We both grabbed Hurong and went at it. Sorry, Hurong. So. We'll keep you posted on it. I really want to, the other game, though, as much as I'm enjoying this Tekken, I really want to see some stuff about the next DOA, since they did make an announcement. I enjoyed DOA a lot.
I think that's still a good ways out, though.
Yeah, I know. But, hey, we'll have Tekken well, it's kind of the way it was last time. We'll have Tekken to hold us. Yeah. We'll definitely get it. It looks good.
All right. Quick throwback to something we talked about last week, the super low score of Peter Pan and Wendy. Apparently, for a short period of time before they got called out on it.
We did check, and it's back up.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes temporarily silenced audience for Peter Pan and Wendy. So basically, they got they turned off the audience score for a while. And apparently a lot of people started bashing them for it. Of course, it's like 12% audience score right now. I think it went down. It probably went down some just because of them doing this. I don't know why they keep doing this type of stuff.
They get caught every time.
Yeah, this isn't the first time that Rotten Tomatoes has done this stuff, and it always hurts the score even more when they do it. Because they get complaints, they get called out, they have to undo it, and then people spam the scores again, going, "Look at this crap that this is so bad that Rotten Tomatoes is trying to cover it up," and so it hurts to move the product even more whenever Rotten Tomatoes does this crap. So,
and I mean, it's just a shocker. I mean, we know because everybody knows that Disney owns Rotten Tomatoes. They know they're in their pocket. But again, this goes back to my previous statement, though, of the lack of subtlety. It's almost UK-like. Again, where it's just like, used to be people would be sneaky with this stuff, but it's just shocking when you see such blatant, shenanigans where are you gonna check IMDb? But like it's so blatant when they just decide like, hey, right in your face, we're going to conceal the scores and think you're not going to say something. And it's like, that's not going to happen. The internet is living and breathing, and nothing ever gets by it. They have the Wayback Machine to capture it when you change stuff. Like, somebody's got, when they did that, like, even though they put it back up, somebody's got a screenshot saved. I mean, you can't get away with this stuff on the internet. So it just shocks me that they keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I haven't seen this on IMDb before, but it's like 3.7 unweighted mean. But yeah, it's listed as a 4.1.
Yep.
So they weigh it somehow to increase the score?
Well, it still ended up being a 4.1. And it is dominant in almost every region. It got its highest scores. The UK has the highest scores for it. The highest.
The Netherlands has the highest, with the United States the second. United Kingdom is.
Oh, okay. I was looking at it wrong. You're right. So when it averages out, it must hit a 4.1 average. Yeah, because there was no 3.9. So it probably hits about a 4.1 average.
Yeah, now the unweighted mean says 4.1. Okay, it's 3.7 in between. 4.1 I think is the unweighted mean of the U.S., which is weird. Anyway, I'm not sure exactly how they do it. But you can see, I mean, IMDb has a relatively higher score on theirs than
12%. But notice that they couldn't hit 5 in any country. It couldn't even hit halfway in any location.
Well, look,
the highest
IMDb
is 4.7.
is notorious for having the highest scores when it comes to weighted, because it does seem like people who review things on IMDb, I guess, there's not as many just flat out ones usually.
Well, that's good because very few movies are one. I mean, let's be honest.
Now we'll say,
very few
this
movies
one
are
got
one.
a lot of flat out ones on IMDb, which is, it's like I said, sort of rare. But I think it's also because I think most of Rotten Tomatoes is a 5-point scale, where this is a 10-point scale. So,
well, Rotten Tomatoes also leans toward extremes. Rotten Tomato, you tend to see 5, 1, 1, 5, 5, 1.
Yeah.
Whereas IMDb, you're going to see a lot of, look at that, every number is represented. Like on that scale of 10, there's the next highest scoring than 1 is 6. So there's a lot more people that swing up and down the scale. But still, 4.1 means it sucks. Because, I mean, they didn't even hit a 5. I don't misspelled all that.
I know.
Thank goodness, Google is smarter than you.
I know,
Fixed it
right?
all.
But yeah, I mean, 12%. Oh.
1.2 out of 5 when you moved to the scale. So, yeah, that is, when you clicked on it, it said 1.2 out of 5.
Yeah. That is just nasty, man. 12%.
Dude, I've sat through several breakdowns. There's no redeeming qualities in this movie. I had one guy that gave it a so-so rating, and he didn't have anything to base it on. And it's a shame because it's a guy I like a lot. I'm not going to dox him by saying the YouTuber's name. Mm-hmm. But me and my son love his stuff. It's really funny. But when I watched his Peter Pan, he had nothing to base his. He said it was okay, but everything he described was bad. And I'm like, why are you calling it
well, we
okay
saw that with some of
everything
the we saw that
bad?
with some of the critic reviews when we were reading Rotten Tomatoes the other week, so
there's like no part of the movie he could say was good. And I'm like, you can't call something a okay or a 5 out of 10 effectively if you have no good points. That's not an average. An average is a movie that's 50% good and 50% bad. There's some good points, there's some bad points. Don't give something a 5 out of 10 and there was no part you enjoyed. I don't get that. That shocks me when somebody goes, yeah, none of it was really that good. 5 out of 10. I'm like, that's not how movies work for me. I give a 5 to something that was halfway watchable. That's because, 5 out of 10.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, I'm not a big fan of the 5-point scale anyway, because I like to give a little more weight to my reviews. I mean, when we were doing game reviews, board game reviews on our channel, we did a 20-point scale. Now, part of that was because of the D20, type thing, but it allowed us to weigh things a little better, and because the fact is, when you only have 5 points, it's hard not to give something a 5. But when you got 20 points, it's relatively easy to not give anything a 20. Because there is very few things that are perfect.
Yes.
I mean, nothing really is perfect. But I mean, that gem, that max score should be for a gem.
Max score should be something where at no point you weren't enjoying it. It kept you engaged and enjoying it from start to finish. The ending was great. All the acting was good. All the dialogue was good. The pacing was good. The sets were good. The special effects were good. The music was good. That's a 5 or a 20. You're right. It should be everything was.
But
on
with
point.
only 5 points, it's hard to hold out for that gem.
Yeah.
Where I can give something a 19 on a 20, and 19 is fucking amazing.
Yeah. 19 is you're like,
Yeah.
Because here's my rule. To give something a perfect score, I have to be able to sit here and there's nothing they could have did better that I can think of. I have to be able to say, nope, I got nothing. That doesn't happen often. That does not happen often at all. Unfortunately, we're DMs, we're gamers. We've consumed a massive amount of stories.
Yeah, and that was the cool thing about when we were doing the 20, because we basically broke it into 4 5-point scales where we did artwork, game mechanics. And so you were able to sort of, and then add those together. Now I think some of these things that do 5-point, they actually do a 5-point where it's multiple 5-point categories, and then your final 5-point is an average. Yeah. And those are, I like those as well. Because it gives you a little more meat to your judgment of something if you're going to do a review.
And that's why I said Rotten Tomatoes swings extremes, because when I see somebody give a 1 to this, I have watched a lot of footage, and Jude Law is a good actor. Jude Law is a pretty good actor. It's no way is it a 1, But at the same time, Peter is terrible. Nobody I know is not saying that the actor for Peter is terrible.
Yeah, everybody I've talked to has talked so much crap.
Tinkerbell has no purpose in the movie. They wrote all of her character traits out because they wanted her to not be jealous. So she ends up with no character. Tiger Lily has a handful of lines and does nothing in the movie. They changed her role dramatically, but not in a way that matters. She literally disappears for a large chunk of the movie. So how can it be a 5? I just named several major flaws. Also, Neverland has no magic. There's no mermaids. There's no mystical creatures. It's just an island. No, it's just Neverland is just an island. The most magical thing is when they make the ship fly later. That's it.
Yeah, and that's the issue though. Also with taking a IP that already has specific set of story points to it, and you basically trying to make a new movie out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Just make a movie that's
my boy.
Yeah. Make a movie that sort of goes around a similar concept, but isn't Peter Pan. If you want to go out and change so much of it, but anyway, we're being a dead horse again. I mean, Peter Pan sucked. Peter Pan and Wendy sucked.
Oh no, this was an attack on Peter Pan. It's an attack on Rotten Tomatoes for its shenanigans.
And Rotten Tomatoes is just at it again. I mean, but that's also beating a dead horse. We know Rotten Tomatoes it does weird stuff in favor of the studios when they can get away with it. And it rarely gets away with it because too many people are watching Rotten Tomatoes. They've gotten caught too many times to get away with much of anything anymore.
Well, they're an unreliable source and have locked themselves down in this role of being unreliable.
I mean, when you become an unreliable source, it's worse than Wikipedia.
Speaking of unreliable,
all right. Last thing, and this was more of just a quick talking point, and I know we're running close to the end of the show, but we haven't talked about tabletop in a while. So we saw this, and it was like, yeah, this is sort of a stupid fluff piece of an article, in my opinion, which is most of CBR, but anyway. They released this article talking about Dungeons & Dragons player kicked from party for learning the rules of the game. It came from, they pulled somebody's Reddit conversation about basically they were removed from a game because they learned the rules. And this is something that I've actually seen this before, and I know you've seen this before, and it brought up a good conversation, and we were thinking, what do you guys think? Drop it in the comments, let us know. But when it comes to learning the rules of the game, do you want your players to not know the rules of the game? To me, if you do, you're hiding something, or you yourself may not know the rules and you're trying to run a game. But I like knowing the mechanics of a game that I'm playing, for one, so I can stay within those mechanics. For two, because I do know asshole DMs that will screw you and,
And that is why we just want to talk about it. Because I looked at him and I said, did you ever have that DM that did that? We had a DM who would not let anyone read the book. Mm-hmm. He helped everyone make their characters. He asked you what you wanted, then he made your character. He wouldn't let anyone. It was Obsidian. It was actually the game.
And that's sort of similar to this guy. He said he got an out-of-the-box character, so it was a pre-made character, and he just wanted to know what his characters do, progression path, and he was called out for being meta. Now,
no, he got kicked out. He got kicked out of the whole gaming group,
now,
apparently, for reading the rule book.
You can be meta by knowing the rules. That is a mindset you do have to get around as a player, not being meta because you know the rules. But I don't think you should not know them. I just think you should, if somebody is bringing out of character knowledge into a game, you go, look, your character wouldn't know that, and usually that's all you have to do to get somebody. Okay. Yeah. Now I would guess a progression path. If you were trained as a beast master, you would sort of know your progression path as part of your training.
Well, the other problem is that he was a new player and everyone else was an experienced player. So he was the only person who didn't know the rules. But to go into what I was going to say is we were playing Obsidian, and basically the GM made everyone's characters by asking us questions. And we got suspicious. And when we checked, because it was a GM also who I'd had some issues with. And basically what happened is, since I knew if I was the one to look, it would have been a problem, I had one of the other players look. I asked him, it was Kitsune. And when Kitsune checked it, he said, dude, he screwed your character up. And I don't mean as in the rules are wrong. Like, he didn't do any of what I said I wanted to do. Like, he minimized the character and screwed it up so the character was useless. And we believe that was his goal because he said, well, no one else's characters are screwed up like yours. And you know how he always says your characters are too strong, so we think he did all of this just to screw you over. So there's rarely a time that a DM's not up to something when he doesn't want you to know the rules. Yeah.
Now,
that's suspicious.
Now, Flynn in the chat room says players knowing the rules actually makes it easier if the DM is fair. Very true. And I'll say this. I have gone outside the rules as a DM before, but you usually you inform your players you're going outside the rules. And I mean, hell, I did it with your character when we played the sci-fi game. I was like, to make things, let's do this, and you're like, I'm cool with that, fine. But it's informed decisions, and I think if you want to enjoy a game, you want to be informed.
Well, so many DMs won't deign to negotiate with their players because why would I negotiate with you commoners? So you see that attitude of, I'm going to do what I want, you're going to deal with it. And that attitude rarely flies.
The God complex DM.
Yeah. And that's why they don't say, hey, man, well, here's what I'm doing. Because, I mean, you can go outside the rules. Just tell your players you're doing it. Because, I mean, the other time we saw this is you remember what happened to our boy Jarek with that one person he brought over to run the game, and he broke a lot of rules. We tell stories about that all the time. He broke so many rules, and they were all to player detriment. And we were okay at first. We're like, well, he's doing something. But then we slowly started to realize that it was only screwing us over. There was no story. It was just, yeah, no, man, you don't have your spell book. Okay, all right. You beat this wizard. He don't have a spell book either. All right, I go to the shop. They're out of spells. It's a weird world where all the wizards have no spell books and they don't sell any. I played that game. I had the spells that I learned from leveling up.
Well, that's the thing. If you were playing a world in which magic is held really tightly and behind, well, I just wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play a wizard in that world because when I was training, I would have known. Magic's really hard to get into.
Because the original cast I wanted to play was a monk. I was told there are no monks. In reality, there are monks. He just didn't want to play a monk because he wouldn't give anybody any equipment. And monks don't need equipment. My other character before that was a sorcerer. And he said, no, you can't play a sorcerer. So I said, okay, I'll play a wizard. He said, okay. Then he screwed me out of my spells, which is why I didn't want to play a sorcerer, because a sorcerer doesn't need a spell book. So it was just like, okay, every ruling you're making is to F with your players. Because guess what? You want to know who the first NPC we met on the ship was? He was a monk. So monks existed. Yeah, you didn't expect that. And guess what? Fought several sorcerers. It wasn't they didn't existed. It's just the players couldn't play anything he couldn't control. He needed to be able to screw you over.
Yeah, and once again,
if he couldn't, you couldn't play it.
For reasons I could understand it, and I'm assuming that's why you didn't complain. Go right out when he. Oh well, you must have some storyline.
We thought there was a
around
reason.
These
we
monks,
thought maybe there's a weird magic conspiracy.
And it would hurt the story if one of the players was playing a monk. Okay, I'll come up with something else. Fine. But and this is an attitude where
I'll be right back. My kid's waiting outside.
All right. This is an attitude you see a lot, but sadly, those DMs, they're out there. And my thing is and somebody in the comments of this Redditor actually said this. He's like, you're probably better off being kicked out of that group. And I agree with that 100%. I mean, if you see DMs like this, just don't play with them, man. Find a different group and find some place where you can enjoy playing. Don't put up with this crap, and if you get a bad DM, don't let that ruin the taste of gaming for you. There are good DMs out there. There are ones that make good calls when it comes to rules and tell good stories. So just utilize that as as something to look out for, and just don't play with those dudes.
Well, big red flags is whenever somebody, like I can jump in on that easy. Red flags, man, because it sounds like what you're going on. When a GM doesn't want you to know the rules, sometimes it's for a story reason, but if you don't know that GM, be careful. Could be he's an a-hole.
Well, and once again, if it's story reason, the GM should be willing to say, there's story reasons for this. Okay, But I'm not going to lie, the big red flag is when they ban base classes. Not special classes, but base classes. That is always a bad sign. Like, we had another one who didn't want people to play a paladin. Do you want to know what the reason was? Because he wasn't good at playing paladins. That was it. He just thought they were hard to play, so he didn't think anybody else should be able to play them either. Well, I mean, that is a real thing that happened. I was just like... Yeah. I mean, we've been in situations where there was like, hey, it's not going to be a good idea to play a paladin. We're going to be in Ravenloft. Oh, okay.
Well, that's valid, yeah.
I still want to play a paladin. All right. It's you, though. It's on you now.
I screwed with him nonstop. I was like, okay, and Ravenloft was coming at him,
But that person ended up enjoying it, but they knew the risk coming in.
Oh, they did a good job. Yeah. That was Jarek. Jarek did a really good job with his paladin.
So, like I said, DMs, be more informative with be upfront with your players, respect them. You'll get a lot more out of your stories, and everybody will enjoy the game more. Don't do this crap.
And also, check your ego. You ain't special.
That's where I'm going to end this, man. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check Dicejunkies.com where you can find links everywhere we are online, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And be sure to hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell on our YouTube channel so you can get notifications whenever we go live or we post a video. Thanks for watching, as every week.
We hope you enjoy.